Hello my crafty companions. So here we are on Friday, and what we got to talk about today? Well, let's talk about our brew. So I've got a nice mug today, one of my favourites. You see it's got the button on it and it's got the knitting there, and of course a jolly nice title. And inside we've got this very nice herbal tea, so peppermint and licorice, and this is it's a Lidl's brand, so we thought we'd get that. And you notice that the licorice is sustainably harvested. Anyway, we got a delivery late yesterday afternoon. This is our trade place at Manchester we got this from. So we'll go through what came in, because it was quite a big box. So that parcel there, that's the iron-on fleece that's for quilting and that sort of thing. And this is the German brand that I like. Interfacing came in all three grades. This is a favourite. I've already unpacked one bag, believe it or not. That's how the ribbons turn up. Big bags of them, all mixed up, and I absolutely love sorting them out. Look at the gorgeous colours, look at that. Isn't that fabulous? Look how pretty that one is. What a luscious green is that. So we'll sort those out properly later. Aren't they fab? All right then. So we got a restock of the dishcloth yarn. So we've got other colours besides this, and a new yarn that came in. I just asked for 2 sample balls of it, just to see how we get on. So this is the Wallen's Bunny Baby, and it's that chenille yarn. Now, what I wanted to find out for sure before I put in a big order was whether it shed bits. Look, so that's me scratching it, that's me picking at it. Oh, I did get one little bit out, but that took quite a strain to get it out. But that doesn't shed bits unless you really try and force it out. So we'll do a knitting sample, we'll do a crochet sample, we'll do a washing sample and see how we get on. So it's classed as a chunky yarn, so 6.5 needles, and there's 120 meters per 100 grams. It's polyester fibre, and this, which is very important to me, Ecotech standard. I won't buy anything that isn't Ecotech standard, any fibre that isn't Ecotech's. So we'll see how we get on with that. And maybe in a week or two, if we like how that yarn knits up, crochets up, washes up, we'll maybe get some more colours in. Anyway, we've got some haberdashery bits as well. So we've got a selection of ribbon. We've got a lot of ribbon reels come in, but that's the selection of widths and colours that we ordered. So I didn't think you'd want to see all 50 reels of ribbon. This came in as well. Paper raffia. How nice is that? So that's an alternative to ribbon. We're waiting a long while for these blue mini roses. We've got all the colours that you can think of, but we'd run out of the blue. So we've got some more sewing needles, which we sell a lot of. So that's the beading needles and the cross stitch needles. These, we were waiting a long while for these as well. Big press studs. So those are 19mm, those, and they're made in the Czech Republic. So we try and do British products where we can, but if we can't do British, we do European instead. Latch hooks, useful for carpet making, and some people use these if they like their hair in dreadlocks. A couple more haberdashery bits, knitter's needles, and that type of needle threader. Another European project. Nice Schneider German dressmaking shears. So Schneider is the German word for tailor, and Scherer means shears. So there we go. They're quite a nice brand. So they're not too expensive. So the brand is Kleber, and they're quite reasonably priced, but they are good quality. Maybe should have took these out of the bag. We can't see them. They're the quilting clips, which I sell singly. That little gadget there, that's useful for when you're using knitting looms and the knitting dollies, because there's a bend there. It makes it easier to loop over the yarn, and of course you get a sewing up needle as well. Oh, how about this gadget? You'd get arrested if you had this in your back pocket. That's called a tailor's awl. That's AWL. So you see it's got a sharp point on it. So that's for making nice neat round holes in something like fabric or whatever. So you can embroider round to make a nice neat round hole. These have a secondary use as well when you're on your sewing machine, when you want to, if you don't want to get your fingers too close to the needle, you can use that to just ease the fabric through under the foot on your sewing machine. These useful little gadgets. This is called a sewing and knitting gauge. So can you see you've got metric on one side and imperial on the other, and you've got the little slider there. Make it move, there we go. So you can measure buttons easily, or you can measure button holes easily, or seam allowance easily. So they're a useful little gadget too. Oh, this here. This makes hand sewing easier. That's beeswax. So you see the little grooves in the top. So you thread your needle and you draw it through one of those grooves, and it coats the thread with just the tiniest bit of wax. So it makes hand sewing much easier. And the last thing in my little basket here, that shade of antique white thread has come back in again. We sell no end of that, so we're jolly pleased to have that. Now then, so that's all the products that came in with the Manchester order. So we'll have to sort that out later. So we had a few extra other bits as well, which were for shop use. So we've got our carrier bags, our degradable carrier bags. So there's all the blurb about them. So they degrade, they're put on your compost heap. And the little bags, which I use for buttons and little bits and pieces. So there we go. That's what we had come in from our order at Manchester. So I hope you have a very enjoyable day. I hope you enjoy all your crafty projects. I've already been for a walk on the beach this morning, so if you've got a chance to go out, I would, because the weather's lovely. It's quite a nice ambient temperature, so the wind chill wasn't too bad. The waves were fairly wild, but not dangerously wild. And we had a very nice time on the beach this morning, and we did our yoga, and we watched little boats go up and down, and we watched some dogs playing. It was lovely. Oh, and I met several of my beach friends as well. So I'll just show you this, because this is what a beach friend gave me. A whole jam jar full of beach glass. So thank you, Derek, for that. Thank you. Appreciate that. And bye-bye for now from Marina at the Haberdashery.